So guys, it seems as though we're going to be getting a lot of big gaming news in December, and going into 2024 as well. First, we hear that Rockstar Games is going to be releasing a trailer for the next GTA game, GTA 6, and that will be in early December. Now, there is news that we are going to be getting a God of War Ragnarok DLC. And if you want to keep up with any PlayStation news that should be coming our way, make sure to subscribe because we always keep on top of it here. According to the Spanish source, Area Jug Jones, which has a track record of reliable leaks, Sony Santa Monica Studios, the creator of the God of War series, could be developing downloadable content for the game. The source, supposedly close to Sony, indicated that the DLC will be unveiled at the end of the year, and the timing aligns perfectly with the Game Awards, scheduled for December 7th this year. Sony typically has a strong presence at the event, which has led to speculation that God of War Ragnarok announcement might take place during the show. This would likely put the DLC's release window somewhere in 2024. The big question is, what would the story be about? The exact nature of this expansion remains uncertain. Some suggest that it could be a half sequel, similar to games like Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is essentially a standalone expansion to a full game. The recent leaks support this theory. There is a lot of ideas that have been circulating the God of War fan base about what this DLC could be. Of course, on the forefront is ideas surrounding our favorite daddy, Kratos.
Boy.
Maybe they plan to add additional content where he is ruling the land, turning away from his destructive past, and is living in service by helping people out. That could be a great story, but ultimately I doubt it. Seems like it'd be too simple and far few bloodshed. There's also possibilities that the DLC could involve Atreus. We left the game with him finally going out on his own. Maybe the DLC will be about his encounters on his journey of saving the giants and uncovering his true meaning of life. Atreus does state to Kratos in the end of Ragnarok's story that he has to do this alone. So we most likely will not be seeing Kratos on his journey, but that doesn't mean that he can't get help from other people or areas. With the strong elements throughout the story of him pretty much being an animal whisperer, and one with nature, I could also see his secondary character being like a mythical animal or something that he can call upon. And although I think most of us would want to see this story, we have to think about how likely it would be for us to see it in a DLC. In my opinion, I think this would make far better as a full game. I could see how the story could get pretty deep. I could also see Atreus having his own spin-off called like Loki or something, or I guess you could say half sequel. Another great idea that is more possible is a side mission within the DLC of Atreus trying to make amends with poor Sindri.
Sindri, I'm so sorry.
No. No, I don't want to hear it. You don't know what sorry means.
Maybe they get back together, who knows? Another character that could be included in this DLC is Tyr. He knows a lot about the giants and almost everything that happens within the 9 realms. He could very well help Atreus on his journey. The only issue with that is that Atreus wasn't there when they eventually were able to find the real Tyr, seeing that you could only do this post-game. Santa Monica Studios did say that Ragnarok would be the end of the Norse saga, but they could have just meant Kratos' role in that story. Most likely, finding the giants will start within the 9 realms, most likely Midgard. Many people actually didn't like playing as Atreus in Ragnarok, so I'm sure they wouldn't like a game where you just play as him. Like, he started out as an ally in the first game, but over the course of both games we eventually met a lot of companions. There are a lot of options as to who could become a playable character in this DLC, giving us the opportunity to explore their story and personality way more, such as Thrud, who already showcased to us that she has a lot of great attacks and weapons. I don't really see Freya showing up as a playable character, seeing as she is more tied to Kratos, and a lot of her skills are very similar to Atreus in the first place. And we can't forget Angrboda, because she really stood out in God of War Ragnarok, and I'm sure if we get a spin-off, her powers will just show more, which is pretty exciting. I can see Atreus turning into different animals and each animal having their own unique power and abilities. Obviously in Ragnarok, this is something that Atreus struggled with controlling. and we really only had a couple minutes worth of gameplay showing off his actual abilities. And maybe in this new game, he can know how to control it more and use it to his benefit. They really only gave Atreus a bow in the original title, so this means he can have room for growth later on with his abilities. The last theory that I've seen people toss around is that the DLC could very well be a prequel, possibly playing as Faye, uncovering how her death took place and her story with the giants. Although this would be interesting to see, I do think it's pretty unlikely due to the arguments that I made prior with the DLC centering around Atreus. It may be simply too much content for a DLC, and I'm sure they will have a game with Atreus unlocking the mystery himself, which arguably would give justice to this huge mystery that is built up over the last two titles. Will you guys be looking forward to this DLC? What would you want to see from it? Who would you want it to mainly be about? I personally would love an Atreus DLC because I really liked him as a character, but no one could ever replace Kratos. But it would still be a fun game. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the PlayStation game news, reviews, and analysis. Pause for now, play forever. AK out.